Guys, we gotta get going.
Just really quickly, do you have any remorse or regret for your COVID policies that led to tremendous human suffering in the state of California?
We had a lower per capita death rates in Florida and Texas.
But you didn't even follow the COVID protocols yourself. You didn't even follow the lockdowns yourself, as you destroyed businesses.
Gender issue came up. Why should parents not know if their kids are transitioning at school?
It's a hell of a thing. You're talking about 1% of the population. Climate change that's impacted 100% of the population wasn't even brought up, and we're talking about trans issues.
Here in California, this is an issue for you.
It's a big issue for parents. This is a front and center issue.
Why should parents not know?
It's the great. This is one of the greatest distractions, and it's classic. 1% of the population in the United States. These kids just want to live. These kids just want to live. And we're having a debate about trans issues at the Reagan Library. It's be a shame.
Governor, what do you think is going to be the takeaway after this debate from the American people?
I think it will be clear that Trump comes out the dominant force after this debate. I mean, this is the XFL. This is JV. I mean, honestly, this is maybe a vice presidential debate. These guys are getting lapped by Donald Trump. It's not even close. It's not even interesting. And I think what's most interesting to me is, do they recognize that? Or are they actually going to show up and run against the guy that's in the way of their prospects to be the nominee? It's a zero-sum game. It's a binary choice at the end of the day. It's not a ranked choice voting. So either these guys come after the front runner and distinguish themselves, or otherwise they're wasting everybody's time. And I say this with love and respect. There's a reason some of the advertising is being discounted for this debate. People don't even want to tune in because they know that fundamentally.
So why don't you go, guys? Thank you so much.
With Governor DeSantis.
I know, you got to ask.
Appreciate it.
We got to
Thanks, guys.
I don't know why he's debating a governor of California. I mean, again, that is so disqualifying on his behalf. He put out an ad today, not about his debate for president, an ad about debating me. This guy's eye is so off the ball that it really makes you wonder, well, oh wait, it doesn't make you wonder why he's belly flopped in the polls. It actually makes sense.
Governor, do you worry though that...
Guys, so we got to talk about Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, who swears up and down he's not running for president, except he's literally doing everything that you would think that a guy who expects to make a run at the White House in the next year or so, at the very least in the short term, not the long term, which is 2028, would do. Okay, I mean, the guy is on 60 Minutes. He's doing interviews all over the place, okay, even on Fox News, on mainstream liberal media. It seems like he's expecting to maybe make a run for president in 2024, okay? We really don't know, okay? He says he's not, but he continues to do things that suggest that he might try to take sleepy Joe Biden's place, okay? Because the Democrats need somebody that has more electability than Joe Biden. And Gavin Newsom could be that guy, okay? Because, again, he showed up to the GOP debate, and he was talking a whole lot of smack. Take a look.
And you've got these other people who are also running, none of whom seem to be attracting any interest from Republican voters at all. And I don't want to ask you to advise your Republican friends there, but I do have to ask if you think that the Republican primary process has a purpose, and whether tonight's debate had a purpose, whether it did any good.
I mean, selling ads, perhaps. But you're right. It was the XFL. It was the JV team. I thought, and I mean this, I'm not just trying to even play games here. I thought it would be more of a vice presidential debate, but I wasn't even convinced that we saw the next vice presidential nominee for Donald Trump on the stage. So look, from Trump's perspective, tonight was great. There was no great breakout. There was feeble attempts to take shots at Trump for not showing up. But I honestly, and I mean this, I know I'm in the spin room, I know I'm with you, Rachel, I really believe the winner tonight was the Biden agenda. They identified problems. Biden's not only identified solutions, he's gotten them passed in a bipartisan way to address so many of the issues the Republicans brought up. They brought up no other alternative strategy to meaningfully address the issue of inflation, to address the issue of continued economic growth. They offered nothing in the way of international foreign policy that was particularly novel. So I thought Biden, honestly, was the big winner tonight.
I want to know,
Governor,
because I know the truth. In your heart, in your mind, you want this. But you have basically gone on a media tour sucking up to Joe Biden, and you know he's a cognitive mess. You know it.
I also know he's got an extraordinary record to run on.
Really?
And I couldn't be more proud.
Is this border secure?
I believe Ronald Reagan was right in 1986 when he supported comprehensive immigration.
Yeah, well, he also
reform.
said it was the worst decision he ever made.
Yeah, but I believe that he did the right thing for the right reasons because he recognized it's not just a border issue.
And
That the
said it
entire
was the worst decision.
The entire system needs to be reformed. We haven't reformed since '86.
You're not answering my question.
We need to reform the asylum system.
I want to know.
I believe in strong borders.
You just said Joe's successful.
I think Joe Biden has been an unbelievably successful
Is this border
president.
secure?
The border, we all agree we have a border challenge. We all agree we need to reform the asylum system. We agree in strong borders.
So he's not successful in securing the border.
I think the Republican Party is complicit in this as well. You cannot do things. I mean, it's just factual.
The
There's
border was
push-pull
secure
factors.
under Donald Trump.
It's wildly overstated, but I get your fundamental point. Clearly, the challenges are more acute today. And by the way, I don't need to be educated on this. I have the largest land port in the Western Hemisphere here in the state of California.
Under any circumstances at all, yes or no, will you ever accept the Democratic nomination to run for president in 2024? Under any circumstances at all? That's a yes or no?
I'm looking forward. I was just in Chicago with the DNC.
I don't need the long answer. I want the yes or no answer.
To President Biden's inauguration.
Will you accept it under any circumstances?
Of course not. It's a hypothetical.
Yes or no?
No.
No, under any circumstances.
It's ridiculous. Joe Biden's our president.
You called me ridiculous.
Joe Biden is
I'm going to make you pay for my In-N-Out burger.
Joe Biden won the debate tonight, and you're right about In-N-Out burger, and that's a great way to end. You are right about In-N-Out.
All right, but the last thing is all those stupid interviews you did. You made you prefer to do my show.
Well, I mean, I love talking about gas prices and wildlife crossings.
That's all the time we have left. Thank you, Governor.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Gavin Newsom, I believe, is a psychopath, right? I really do. The more I listen to this guy talk, I'm like, yo, this guy is dangerous, right? He's really, really, really dangerous, okay? I personally, I'm changing my opinion, okay? I thought that it was for sure going to be Kamala. I still think that Biden's going to drop out. I don't think Biden's going to be the 2024 nominee. But my mind is now a lot more open to Gavin Newsom being the guy because Kamala's going to lose just like Biden's going to lose, right? So at some point, you got to kind of say, okay, well, who is the person that gives them the best shot at winning, even though California is an absolute disaster when it comes to crime, the cost of living, drug use, you name it, et cetera. Businesses are leaving that state. People are exiting that state because, again, it's just a total disaster. But regardless, he is the slickest talker, right? And one of the things that he was doing at the debate, besides, praising Trump, right, as the winner, and Joe Biden as well, too, he also was going after DeSantis, right? He was attacking DeSantis because DeSantis and Gavin Newsom are set to debate on Hannity's show in November.
This week we learned that it's going to happen, a debate between you and Ron DeSantis, November 30th, Fox News Channel, Sean Hannity in Georgia without a crowd, just the two of you. Why are you doing that, and what is your strategy?
Well, I don't know if that's the right question. Why is he doing it is the right question. He's running, I think, I'm not sure after tonight, but currently he's running for President of the United States.
And you think he's still going to be? You think he'll still be a candidate on November 30th?
That's an open-ended question. Part of me wonders if, the fact that he took this debate, the fact that he took the bait in relationship to this debate, shows that he's completely unqualified to be president of the United States. That's my humble first.
Why is that? You're baiting him with the debate offer?
Of course. I mean, why is he debating a guy who's not even running for president when he's running for president? He's showing up at the Reagan Library, hallowed ground, and he puts out an ad today, not for his presidential campaign, to promote a debate against the governor of California? I mean, this guy's distracted. So I don't know that he has it in his heart. I think, here's my personal opinion about Ron DeSantis, he regrets running for president. He made a huge mistake. He listened to his consultants. He bought his own hype. He had this little God complex. I mean, look at the ads themselves. Literally, God created. I mean, he bought into all this stuff. And he quickly regretted it, but he's stuck. And here's the problem. He got one chance at first impression. He's belly flopped. He's down 30-plus points from where he started. So it's a terrible situation for him.
Yeah, so Gavin Newsom is claiming that he baited Ron DeSantis into debating him. And I'm going to talk more about what Gavin Newsom said there. But first, I want to play Ron DeSantis' recent comments on the upcoming debate between him and Gavin Newsom. Take a look.
I think it's an important debate for the country, not like saying who's better, Florida, California, because that debate is over because people have voted with their feet. They've left California and come to Florida, not the other way around. He has lost massive amounts of population. No governor in California history has ever witnessed population loss at all on net, and he's had it in because of the policies. He's driving people away. But what's the future for the country? The future for the country, for what the left would want to do, is just double down on the California policies. And so I think it would be an important debate. I think he's definitely angling for it. I don't think Biden is going to step down willingly. I think it's harder to dislodge somebody who's an incumbent president than people assume it would be. But I think the Democrat establishment really, really is concerned, particularly, if they have to run against somebody like me. I think that their view on Trump is that he will help energize their base to come out in ways that maybe some other Republicans won't. I don't know that that's true per se, the way they're thinking it, but I do think they think that. So I think they're looking for how do we get away from this because, Biden is floundering on the world stage. I mean, it's been really embarrassing to see what he's doing.
Yeah, so from a policy perspective, I agree with Ron DeSantis, right? I think especially when you're talking about the COVID lockdowns, when you're talking about crime, okay, when you're talking about the cost of living, when you're talking about inflation, when you're talking about drug use, when you're talking about a lot of issues that are plaguing California versus a state like Florida, I think that Ron DeSantis should be able to win this conversation with Gavin Newsom easily. However, Gavin Newsom is a slicker talker than Ron DeSantis, okay? The more I listen to Gavin Newsom, I'm like, yo, this guy low-key got the juice. Like low-key, I'm like, whoa, okay? This guy really is smarter than what people give him credit for. Again, I don't like the guy, right? He might be evil, okay? He's a psychopath, okay? He's a lefty lunatic. But at the same time, I can't not acknowledge that the guy is smart, right? When I actually listen to him talk. And I think that this debate coming up here on November 30th is going to be very important because, even though Gavin Newsom feels like Ron DeSantis shouldn't be debating him, or that it's beneath Ron DeSantis to debate Gavin Newsom because Ron DeSantis is running for president of the United States, I disagree. I think we should have a debate about the direction of this country, right? Because that's where the Democrats are going to take us if Democrats win. They want us to become more like California. What you see happening in California under Gavin Newsom, again, who has basically allowed the state to become a lawless shithole. That's what Democrats want for the rest of the country. So it is important to have that debate. I just wish that we had a better representative of, I guess, the alternative than Ron DeSantis at this point, just from the perspective of the fact that Gavin Newsom is right about Ron DeSantis' campaign failing. Okay, his campaign essentially not doing as good as it should be. And I think part of the reason why is because Ron DeSantis just isn't that great at articulating some of his ideas and his wins out in Florida, which, should be a lot easier considering that the guy has been a great governor. Again, I like Ron DeSantis, okay? I would pick Ron DeSantis 100 out of 100 times over somebody like Gavin Newsom. But I must say that I am a little worried about Ron DeSantis going into this debate versus Gavin Newsom, just because I think it is clear what the direction of this country should be if you're talking about California versus Florida. I'm just not sure at this point if Ron DeSantis is the right man to have that debate, right? Maybe I would much rather see somebody like a Vivek Ramaswamy versus a Gavin Newsom than Ron DeSantis. But hey, Ron DeSantis is a smart guy, right? He's a smart guy. He can probably hold his own. And honestly, I'm more interested in seeing the conversation because of the fact that it's going to be a sit down with no crowds, and they're actually going to hash out the differences between California and Florida from a policy perspective. And I think that is probably how most of these so-called presidential debates and policy debates should be, right? I'm actually tired of seeing the traditional format that we see because it's more about, WWE entertainment than it is about actually talking about policy. So I am actually looking forward to it, just from the fact that I think that this format is actually better for people learning more about politics and what's going on and what these guys believe and what they stand for than what we see on a debate stage, like the GOP debate or whatever, right? So it'll be interesting, right? I'll definitely be watching it. I'll probably end up live streaming it. I know some of you guys are probably not interested in it, but I do think from the perspective of the direction of the country, the future of the country, whether or not Gavin Newsom chooses to run in 2024 or not, I think it is an important debate. But the more I think about it, the more that Gavin Newsom continues to do these rounds in the media, it seems like this guy is essentially stepping up in Joe Biden's place as the spokesperson for the Democrat Party. I think that's clearly what's happening here. He may not run in 2024, but it seems like what he's trying to do is that he's trying to take the attention off of Biden and put it on him and let him actually articulate the wins of the Biden administration and to speak more about the Democrat Party agenda, because he knows and the Democrats know that Biden can't do that. Kamala can't do that. So they're essentially assigning Gavin Newsom as the guy to do that because everybody knows that he's up next in 2028, which, I mean, again, it tells you everything you need to know about how they feel about Kamala. And I think that's why I'm really starting to change my opinion now about, whether or not Kamala is going to be the person, because Gavin Newsom has stepped up and he has become the go-to guy when it comes to articulating the Democrat agenda and trying to turn around the perception of the Biden administration. I mean, it's truly fascinating stuff. This is what Kamala should be doing, right? Kamala should be showing up to the GOP debate and crashing the debate and talking smack to Hannity, right? But that's Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom's doing that. Why is Gavin Newsom doing that? Well, because Gavin Newsom is much more confident in his ability to push the Democrat agenda than somebody like Kamala Harris. I don't think Kamala Harris has done one interview with Fox News, right? Kamala Harris won't do any type of interviews that are outside of friendly territory. It tells you everything you need to know. Gavin Newsom's not afraid to go into the fire and to take the heat, even though his state, again, is clearly a disaster. He's not afraid to do it, right? So, again, there is something to respect about that, even though I think that the guy is a psychopath. I just think personally, I mean, behind closed doors, they're probably begging this man to run, right? They're begging him to run, okay? And the more I listen to him, the more I see him, the more I kind of understand why. So, again, some interesting set of politics happening here. We'll see what happens moving forward. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.